Hey guys, welcome back. Today's video is going to be a full face using makeup that I hate. Quote unquote hate, because I really don't hate these products. This is just what the tag is called. I don't like these products and they didn't work for me, but that doesn't mean that I hate these brands. And please do not be offended by this video. If I talk about something that you really love, that's okay. I mean, makeup is all about trial and error, and I know some people are so easily offended on the internet, but at the end of the day, it's just makeup. Not everything is going to work for everybody. That's just a reality of it. So I hope you guys take the video for what it's worth. Hopefully I don't offend anybody out there. Yeah, these products, they just didn't work for me. I just don't like them, but I love these brands regardless. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and let's just go ahead and get started. So we are starting off with the brows today. The first product that just didn't work for me the best, that I really don't love, is the e.l.f. brow pencil. I have this one. I believe it's in the shade medium dark. And the reason I don't like this is because once the pencil starts to get dull, I feel like you lose control with the actual product and you don't have a lot of precision when doing your brows. I always love brow pencils to carve out my brows and fill them in a little bit, and then I go in with a pomade over top to fill the rest of my brows in. But with this, I feel like the first time you use it, it's really good because it has a nice sharp tip. But after you start using it, it's just dull, and I don't love it. The formula isn't awful, but again, if it wasn't like such a dull pencil after a couple uses, I would really like it, but that's like my only thing with it. But it is a pretty decent brow pencil, I guess, if you just want to fill in your brows quickly. But if you actually want to sculpt them out and define them and carve them out like the way that I do and like outline them, then personally, I wouldn't recommend it. I'm gonna do things a little bit different today. I normally always do my eyes and then my face, but today we're gonna do face products first and then eyes last. So for primer, I recently discovered this Lottie London Insta Filter Pore Eraser Stick. You guys, this is such a drying primer. Like, I tried to make it work and I literally just don't like this at all. This is literally like a glue stick, as you can see. Has a really strong older men smell, like cologne. Like, it just smells awful. It's very very strong, and this is literally just a glue stick. Like, literally, I don't like it. It's so hard on my face, and like, I don't know, it just doesn't really do anything. It doesn't fill in my pores, doesn't mattify my skin. It just literally feels like a dry stick rubbing against my face. That's it. So you can actually get this brand on Ulta's website. It's only available online, unfortunately, but I love this brand though. They have a lot of really awesome things, but this product is just, it's just not working for me. So the way that I do it is I just apply it to my skin and then try to rub it in, and it literally does nothing. Like, it feels like a paste on my face. Okay, for foundation, I have the Revlon Youth Fix Fill Plus Blur foundation. I really tried to love this, but there's a couple things that I don't like about it. One, it literally feels like you have makeup on. Like, it feels like a thick layer of foundation on your face, and I personally am not a fan of that. Like, I don't care how full coverage a foundation is. I don't want to feel like I have a lot of makeup on. I like when foundations feel like your skin. Another thing is the colors are like so weird. They're like very pinky in my opinion, which I'm not a huge fan of, just because my skin tone is more a yellowy olive skin tone. So I feel like the shade selection kind of sucks. And then these are so expensive. I want to say I paid like $15 or $14 for each tube, and I had to mix shades because, like I said, the coloring is so off. So if you are trying to find your perfect match, you're most likely going to have to mix shades, and that's like $30 for a drugstore foundation. Like, you might as well just go to Sephora at that point and just buy a high-end foundation. Like, doesn't make sense to me. The packaging is nice because it's a squeezy tube, but that's just about it. Everything else I really just don't like about the foundation, and I feel like the wearability of it also isn't even that good for it to be such an expensive drugstore foundation. Also, I just wanted to mention, I don't like this sponge. This is the Equal Tool sponge. It has like this angle to it, and I really wanted to love it just because of the shape, but honestly, you guys, this is so hard. Like, it's not squishy like the Beauty Blender or like the L'Oreal sponge. I'm just not a fan of it. Like, it works, but it's not my favorite. I wouldn't repurchase it, and I don't recommend it. Then for concealer, I have the LORAC Porefection Concealer. This is apparently oil-free, paraben-free, fragrance-free. I have this one in the shade medium. This is such a thick, formula. It is so thick underneath the eyes. I feel like it's cakey. It creases on me like crazy. Now, a lot of concealers do crease on me just because I have really bad fine lines underneath my eyes, but there's concealers that just really emphasize that like 10 times more than others. Like, for example, Tarte Shape Tape is like my all-time favorite concealer, and I still get little tiny creases right here, but it's not that bad compared to like this. This formula is just so incredibly thick, and I only use like a little bit because literally that's all you need, and it's still like such a thick formula. Like, I just don't like it. It blends decently, like it's creamy, but it's just so thick. So like, you can see it blends, but it almost like doesn't melt into your skin. Like, it just sits on top of your face. And I don't like products like that. I don't know. They just like it's not necessarily doing much for me, like coverage wise. It's just a thick formula for no reason. And again, this blender, not my favorite, like, at all. I know a lot of people love this EcoTool sponge, and I don't know why. I tried to make it work with like a lot of my favorite products, like face products before, and it just does not work for me. Like, I'm honestly just gonna toss it when I'm done because I just don't like it. And I really like EcoTool's makeup brushes, so I really had high hopes for this. But like, I thought it was gonna be a really nice sponge, but it's just a little too hard in my opinion for me, and Then for powder, I have this one from BECCA. This is the Soft Light Blurring Powder in the shade Golden Hour. I'm pretty sure that they only have one shade in this, but the reason I don't like this is because it oxidizes on me. When I first applied this, I thought it was like a decent powder, but actually going in with it, I noticed that like by the end of the day, or when I was like in natural light going to class, my face was like orange, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this looks so bad. Like, you can see applying it, it's a light color, like it's like a skin tone color. But like throughout the end of the day, this is legit orange. I feel like the powder is actually oxidizing on me like right now. I can't believe I didn't really notice that. I guess because like I used to do my makeup a lot with this powder when I was in my dorm and the lighting wasn't the best. But like, I can literally see it right now, like getting a little bit darker on me, which is crazy because it's a nice powder if it didn't oxidize, and I didn't even think powders did that, but this one does. Then for bronzer, I have this Master Bronze and Highlighting Kit from Maybelline in the shade 10. I really thought I was gonna love this because I love the other palettes that Maybelline has, like the blush and bronzer and highlighter trio that they have. I love those palettes, but this one was just a no-go for me. I don't know what it is. You get a lot of product when you dip your brush into the palette. By the way, I'm using the Morphe R10. You get pigment on there, you see? And then you tap off the excess. It like shows up, but it's like you really have to dig your brush into the palette. It's just not my favorite. I feel like it's kind of just like it's not doing anything crazy for me. I mean, I normally go... Okay, sorry about that. Where was I? Okay, the bronzer. I feel like it just doesn't do anything amazing for my skin. Like, I love usually a really natural bronzy look. I don't really contour on a daily. It's just not my thing. It's just not what I like to do. But this one, I just feel like it's kind of just like blah on my skin. Like, it's kind of just muddy, whatever. Like, it's not doing much. And you really have to like I'm doing this with a product. I'm actually really swiping in here to get product, because when you first go in, it's just not super pigmented. Like, you really have to kind of build it up. The highlighter in here is pretty, but I wouldn't recommend a palette to you guys just for one highlighter, you know, when you have 3 other bronzers that are pretty much useless, in my opinion at least. So giving this away. Okay, then for blush, I was so excited about this. This is the Kylie blush in the shade X-Rated. I love orange blushes. I used to not go for blushes like this. Like, I used to use like baby pink blushes, but now I love orange blushes. But this is like, this is a joke. Like, this is not even pigmented. Like, I'm literally dipping my brush in here like so hard, and I get product on here, but it's like barely. Like, it's not even as vibrant or pretty as I expected it to be, like the way that it looks in the pan. Swatching it, there's like barely any color. I always have had high expectations for Kylie Cosmetics, and I've just been disappointed almost every single time. So I'm just gonna swirl my brush in here, which, when, like I said, when you dip your finger, when you swirl your brush, you do get pigment. It's like not really what I expected either. Like, it's kind of just like a little bit ashier and lighter than what it looks in here. Like obviously I don't want to have bright orange cheeks, but I've had way better blushes even just at the drugstore. Then for highlighter, I know this is a lot of people's favorite. This is BECCA's Moonstone. I love BECCA highlighters. Like Opal is one of my all-time favorites. Champagne Pop. Their blushes are like to die for, but this one, I don't know what it is. Like it's pigmented and it's buttery, but it's just so chalky on my skin. It's almost like a pressed powder. Like it's pigmented, you can see, and it shows up, but on my actual skin, I'm not living for it. Like I said, it shows up. I just feel like this color in particular for me is a little powdery and like chalky on my skin personally. And like I said, this is pretty, like it shows up, it's a pretty color and I've seen it on other people, but on me it's almost just like a chalky, powdery type of highlight that I've just, I don't know. And I usually really like highlighters like this that are like creamy vanilla, but for me this one is just not my favorite, and I'm really surprised because I love BECCA highlighters. I wanted to mention another highlighter which is also from BECCA. I'm not sure if any of you guys had an issue with this one. This is Amethyst from BECCA. It's like one of those light sort of like purpley type of highlighters. Very pretty. It's like iridescent. This is so incredibly like chalky, and you can see it's like really powdery, but on my skin, like look at that, it's so powdery. I don't like when highlighters look like legit powdery on the skin. Like it's a really pretty color, but there's just so much excess powder. I feel like this one is almost a little too creamy and buttery. That's why it like does that when you dip your brush in. There's like just so much fallout. Let's zoom in and do eyes. So for eyes, I have this BH Cosmetics Marble Collection Warm Stone Palette. I was so excited about this because look at the colors, you guys. They're so pretty. The packaging is gorgeous. These are just so chalky and like barely there type of colors. I feel like all these products are just chalky on me, and I'm like, what is going on? Don't know why, but they're just they're just no bueno. So I'm going to start off with this soft brown color right at the top, and I'm just going to be applying this right into my crease. It's pigmented, like on the brush it's showing up, but I feel like actually just applying the colors and kind of working with them and layering them, they just don't work the best in my opinion. They're one of those eyeshadows where they don't really last all day. Like the minute you start blending other colors and adding eyeliner and doing all this other stuff, it just doesn't really last. I guess it could be a decent palette for beginners, but at the same time, there's way better palettes out there. I really like the BH Cosmetics and Carly Bible palette. I think that's a really great palette, but this one just was a no-go for me. I don't know. You really have to build up the colors. And there's a lot of fallout with this, which honestly, fallout doesn't really bother me. I know it bothers a lot of people, but a lot of my favorite drugstore and high-end eyeshadow palettes have a ton of fallout, so it's not really a huge issue for me. But some palettes that I've had are just like excessive. But this one, it's a little excessive, but it was affordable, so it's like whatever. I'm taking the shade right next to it on the same brush. I'm just adding that also right in the crease. Picking up this like bronzy-ish color, I'm going to be applying this all over my lid. You see the shimmers are not even like pigmented. Like they're there, it's a really light sheen though. I'm going to just dip back into the brush and just spray the brush with some setting spray. They do show up a little bit more, but it's nothing crazy. Like I said, I've had better eyeshadow palettes. I've also had worse though, so this isn't like terrible, but it's definitely not my favorite. I'm going to pick up the Brow Bone color, which this color is actually really pigmented in the palette. This is probably the only color that I absolutely genuinely love in here. I wish that the other shimmers in the palette were as intense as this one. I'm also going to pop that in the inner corner. Weird that I did my face makeup first today because I always do my eyes and then my face, but I wanted to switch it up. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Like, the shimmer is like disappearing a little bit. on my lid. You see that? Like once you start blending other colors over top, the colors start to disappear. I wanted to show you guys that because that literally happened to me every single time that I've been trying to use this palette. It always happens and I'm like, what is going on? I haven't tried any like terrible eyeliners, but I've tried some terrible lashes. These are the Eyelure Vegas Nay Fiercely Fabulous Lashes. You guys know Eyelure has some of my favorite eyelashes ever, and when I saw these I was like, oh, these are going to be stunning because they're really thick and they're black. That's what she said. These are so thick and black that they almost look fake. When you have them on, they look like those Halloween lashes that you would get like from the Halloween store. You know what I'm talking about. And I just don't like that like fake plastic sort of look. I don't know if you can really see them, but I don't like that. And when they're on my eyes, they're just like so heavy and just like Halloween lashes. That's like the best way I can describe them. So not really a fan of that. So I'm going to show you what I mean, because they're just, it's just not a good look at all. One of the worst mascaras that I recently tried is the NYX Skinny Mascara. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is awful. It's literally, I'm waiting for my lash glue to dry, so I figured I would talk about this. It's literally a skinny mascara, but the wand is so like tiny that I feel like when you're actually applying the mascara, it's literally poking me in the eyeball. Like, I'm not even going to show you because I don't want my eyes to water. I'm literally throwing this in the trash right now because it's awful. Do you see what I mean? Like when I'm looking down, these lashes look so fake, it kills me. Like, oh my god, they're so heavy on my eyes and I can literally feel them on my eyes right now. Like, it feels like I have like bugs on my eyes right now. Like when I'm blinking and looking at you guys, it literally, I can see the lash. Like, you know? And I love Eyelure, like don't get me wrong, they have some of my favorite eyelashes. I did a video like my top 5 favorite affordable lashes, and Eyelure has like some of the best at the drugstore. But these, Okay, for lips, I have the Lottie London Slay All Day Longwear Lip Pencil in the shade Work It. Now, let me just say that I love this formula. It's super creamy. The color is really nice. The thing I don't like about it is that it keeps breaking. Every time I go to use it and sharpen it, it just continues to break on me. Like, I'm going to be going through this whole pencil just by sharpening it. So, let's see. I have a little tip on it, so hopefully it'll work. Point proven. So I'm going to take my handy dandy sharpener and I'm going to sharpen my pencil. It's not even worth it, I feel like. There's so many other better lip liners out there. NYX Wet n Wild, if you want like an affordable brand. They don't break. They're so good and creamy. Like, the color's pretty, but it's like, it's not worth it if the pencil is going to be like this tiny by the time you can actually start using it, you know? I honestly haven't tried any like horrendous lip products in quite some time, at least none that I can actually think of right now off the top of my head. So when I was looking through my makeup, I found the Kylie Lip Glosses, and this one is in the shade So Cute. You guys remember when these came out, and I've heard so many different things, like the formula has changed since then. I bought these last summer, in the beginning of summer, and the reason I don't like these is because, first of all, the color's gorgeous, but I hate the like artificial smell. It's so strong. It smells like crayons. I just don't like it. And I don't like the wand because, as you can see, it's like one of those, I don't even know, brush wands. The product applies so streaky. Like, I don't like the smell of them either. Like, it's so strong and it doesn't go away once you apply it on your lips. It kind of stays there. Honestly, if it had a better wand, I would probably like these lip glosses because the formula is nice. They're glossy. Has a really nice, decent formula. It's just the brush makes the lip gloss streaky. And then the smell is like not my favorite. It looks so bad. Okay, the final thing I'm going to talk about is this Pixie Vitamin Makeup Mist. I love the Pixie Fixing Mist. It's like the one in the pink bottle. That's like one of my favorite setting sprays at the drugstore. You can get this at Target. It's a little bit more pricey to be from the drugstore, but I love this brand. I just don't like this because I feel like it doesn't do much for my skin, and I don't like the smell. Like, the pink one actually makes the makeup last long and it gives my skin like this really fresh, glowy, dewy look. But this does like nothing for me, and it has a really strong citrus smell. Like, it does say on here with orange blossom and citrus extracts, but it's like very, very strong. I'm just not a fan of it. So I didn't think it was going to be this strong. Like, it smells nice when you spray it, but on your face it's like, it kind of smells like medicine. I don't like the smell of it on my face. Alright guys, so that does complete this video. As you saw, I could actually create a look, like I could make the products work, but comparing these products to like my holy grail makeup items, they're just not good. Like they just don't meet my expectations. The blendability, the formulas, the colors, they're just not things that I personally enjoy working with and enjoy doing my makeup with. I just definitely don't think this is my best work at all. The lashes especially, like I cannot wait to just take these lashes off and wipe off all this makeup. Let me know down below of products that did not work for you, drugstore, high-end. I would love to hear your thoughts. Again, I hope that you had an open mind when watching this video because I don't hate these brands. I just don't like these products. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys and I'll see you in a few days in my next video. Bye!